Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Mike. I'm here with Tyrone. Unfortunately, Hollister and Menelik could not join us tonight. But hey, like we said, we're trying to keep this consistent. So the show must go on. So just get it right into it. We're going to talk about UFC, I think 270. This is UFC 270, which is Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane for the heavyweight championship. As you all know, if you're an MMA fan, Francis Ngannou is the heavyweight champion. Cyril Gane recently fought Derek Lewis maybe a few months ago, a little bit more than a few months ago, and he fought Derek Lewis for the interim title. Now, those of you following the situation behind, like, I'm an MMA guy. We established that. So is Menelik. Hollister is kind of getting the entire and dabble into it now. But Francis Ngannou having a contract issue with the UFC. You know, he makes like a certain amount of money. He makes $600 in a fight. Now, people might say, "Oh, that's a lot of money," but compare to other heavyweight champions in other sports, that's kind of like chump change. If he say, "Look, you don't want to make that no more. You want to make more money," and that's always going to the whole UFC thing with the fighter pay and etc. So this is his last fight in his contract. He got some other stuff going on, and Sharagon's like the second coming of everybody in the sense like a John Jones S type of fighter. So it should be an interesting fight tonight. I got my money on Francis winning, obviously by KO, because that's what he's known for. If you guys don't know who Francis Ngannou is, go type that in. Francis Ngannou YouTube highlights, and you pretty much get acclimated real quick as to who he is and what type of fighter he is. I like Cyril Gane. I think he's a good fighter, but I'm going for that. So I'm going to just ask Tyron's opinion. I know he's not really into MMA like that, or he's getting into it, but just based on what I just said, I just wanted to see what's your take on that fight.
You know what I do when I don't know fight, I go look at the tail of the tape, look at their record and everything.
Yeah.
The challenger is well, they're both champions, I think, right?
Yeah. So Cyril Gane is a interim champ.
Okay. So he's a fake champion. That I call those fake champions
champ.
I call those fake champions in boxing. They have those in boxing too. Those are fake champs. They're yeah. So yeah, but he's 10-0, 6'4", 81 reach. Ngannou, he's a champion. You always got to go with the champion sometimes until somebody knocks them off. You got to give that respect to the champion. Mm-hmm. And I am a little familiar with the name. You brought it up before we got on, and I was kind of like, I don't know, but I do know what you're talking about. I'm gonna roll with the champ. I'm putting my money on the champion too. You can't disrespect the champions until they get beat. So I'm gonna roll with the champ.
I agree with you. Just to give you guys a little bit of backstory with the whole thing between Francis and all this, like Francis from Cameroon, same place as Joel Embiid. He had a real, not a bad upbringing, saying like, he was like, beat up and stuff like that, but he came from poverty, and he actually snuck in and, and did the whole, like, illegal migration to France, and he was homeless for a while, and he met this guy named Fernand, who was also from Cameroon, who had an MMA or kickboxing gym in France, and he lived there for a while. He was training, he wanted to be a boxer, and then he's like, look, they saw the potential in him, the power, the strength, and his massive size. You see Francis is like 6'4", 260 something pounds, jacked, you know what I'm saying? And there's like, yo, man, maybe you could have a shot in MMA, because MMA is a little bit quicker to get into as opposed to boxing. And he got into MMA, got into the UFC. He had a meteoric up tick when he first came in, and then he fought Stipe for the championship the first time, and then Stipe just pretty much just ground and pound him and like mauled him for the whole 5 rounds, and he lost to Stipe by a unanimous decision. Then when he came back from fighting Stipe, he fought Derek Lewis. That was like a dud of a fight. Derek Lewis ended up beating him by points. They both were scared of each other's power, so they didn't really put in no work to really finish the fight. But Derek Lewis did enough to win. And then he kind of was on a down tier. Then he came back. He started knocking out guys again and got that confidence back. He moved from Paris to Vegas, and he started this, racking up the wins and getting his name back. And he fought Stipe the second time, like almost a year ago, beat Stipe, and now he's the champ. Now, I still would like to say, to kind of give this kind of quick story, because the issue that he had was with his ex-coach from that MMA gym. Now, being at that MMA gym and being that he was in Paris, France, Cyril Gane also was a French native. He was a kickboxer out there in that scene, and he used to train with Francis, like, maybe like small training, not in the sense that they knew each other, with boys and stuff like that, and they were training a lot, but they used to train a little bit together. And he's just as big as Francis. He got crazy footwork, like he moves like a welterweight at a heavyweight, and that's saying something, because you can move that fast and make people miss and get them tired, and you got power and you got skill and technique. it's no wonder he's 10-0. So it was always this big thing with them getting ready to fight. So this whole narrative between them going into this whole fight was just about Francis and his ex-coach, and like his ex-coach has his new toy, a new girl, which is Cyril Gane. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's like this crazy triangle that's been there and it's been going back and forth. And it kind of gave a little bit more extra, you know, how can I put it, sauce to the fight. And especially because Francis, he really is like not trying to sign another contract with UFC until they pay him more. So I'm rooting for him even more so because like, yo, I feel if you're a champ in any sport, you should be paid more. It's unfortunate the
Yeah.
MMA community, like, it should be figures minimum. Like they shouldn't be making like 600,000. And I say that because I had like a little slight argument with somebody on a Instagram post about this fight, and I was like, look, man, if you're a champ, 7 figures should be the minimum. You can't say, oh, he can't sell, because everybody wanted to see Francis win. And the UFC was banking on Francis to beat Stipe the first time because he's an exciting fighter. He has that physique. He looks like a heavyweight champ. He doesn't look fat and sloppy. He looks like a big, massive dude with crazy knockout power in both hands. So they wanted him to win, and he is a draw. So the whole play on this pay-per-view draw thing is stupid to me. But they don't want to pay him. And when you have somebody like Michael Chandler, no disrespect to Michael Chandler, if you guys are familiar with Michael Chandler, he came to the um, lightweight division. He's from Bellator. He got signed up. He had some great fights. He's like 1-2 since coming in UFC. He lost 2 fights. He won his first debut fight against Dan Hooker. He lost to Charles Oliveira for the interim title. Not for the vacant, lightweight title, and then he got rocked by Justin Gaethje. He lost. So he walked away his last fight losing to Justin Gaethje with $750,000. And he's not even a champ. There's no way that he making more money base salary, right, than Francis Ngannou. That's just how I feel about it. I feel that if you're a champ, pay them. So those of you who are into like fighter pay and equality and stuff like that, and seeing that the pay-per-views are more expensive and everything like that, Francis got to win this one. I know I said a lot, Tyrone.
There's UFC is all you, man. No. Let's say I'm really excited to see what happens in the main event.
Yeah, I'm hyped for tonight. I have Francis winning by knockout, obviously, because I know there's other ways he can win, or ground and pound, TKO, whatever, but I do have him winning. Look, I'm gonna be honest, Cyril's nasty. He got great skills. I don't know, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm just banking on Francis to win. I appreciate what Francis has done. I like Cyril. I think Cyril's a good guy. He's a funny guy. Seemed like a nice, well-rounded, sharp fighter, very smart and everything like that. But I'm rooting for Francis, and I hope that Francis gets it done. And then I would like to see the Francis John Jones fight, but we'll see what happens with John Jones. Yeah. So real quick, yeah, it should be interesting. And then the other co-main event is Figueroa versus Brandon Moreno for the flyweight title. Is it flyweight title? Yeah, flyweight title, 125 title. As you guys know, they fought 2 times. This is gonna be the 3rd time. They fought the first time was a draw, and they fought the second time. Brandon submitted him and won the title. He was the first Mexican champ, not the first Mexican champ, but he won it.
I saw that one.
Yeah, he did his thing. He won it. I was happy for him. And then now they fighting again. And I think that Ferrero, he was like, look, man, that weight cut is hard. These are grown men making it down to 125. Yeah, they might be short in stature, but 125 is a lot of weight to cut too. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you walk around, and I'm pretty sure they probably walk around like maybe 150, 160. It's crazy. It's crazy. So it's just a lot. And I'm going with Figueiredo to win that fight. That's because he was an underdog. So, I'm trying to get into this whole fan do stuff. My shout out to Tyrone and them putting me on and stuff like that. But I'm going with Figueiredo because he's the underdog. So, he makes more money. But I wouldn't be surprised if Brandon wins it. So I'm doing like a safe bet, like putting money on both guys.
Appreciate your honesty there on saying you're literally trying to get more money. I understand that. I'm more familiar with Figueroa. I did see the second fight between him and Moreno. I'm gonna go with Figueroa because I think he's out for revenge. Sometimes they get submitted like that. It's a little embarrassing. He
Yeah.
might come back and change up his style to avoid getting submitted again. So we'll see, man.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I was gonna pick Figueroa. I didn't think you were gonna pick Figueroa. I
Mhm.
thought I was gonna be the only one that say him, but I'm going with Figueroa too. Not just because of the underdog, just because I'm
Mhm.
more familiar with him, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of times when these guys they come off a loss and they get a rematch, they come back with a vengeance,
Mhm.
especially in the UFC.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. Should
I
be a
mean, look,
good card.
I agree with you too on that because like the first fight was very close. The second one, he just didn't. He just looked flat, and I hate to say that because I don't want to take away from the fighters who put in the work. Like Brandon, he went in there, he was quick, sharp, submitted him, and make it look like it was a fluke because the other guy was depleted
Mhm.
from cutting weight. You know what I'm saying? I hate to do that, but you can see a difference. Even Dana White was
No,
saying
it
like
happens.
it
It's
happens.
the
It
truth.
is it is it is see it. So I feel that with this camp, hopefully, so what I've been seeing, because I watched it embedded and all the behind the scenes stuff like that, that maybe he really took his time, cut the weight properly, and should come in the fight at least more energetic. And like you said, looking for revenge because he want to be the champ again. He was the man. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I just think that it should be a good card. There's some other fights on the card, but those are the two main ones. And seeing that it's just Tyrone and I, I'm not going to dive too deep into MMA because he's getting into it, and that's it. So switching gears, we got some NFL games tonight.
Yeah, right now the
Um,
Bengals are playing the Titans.
yeah, man, I wanted to watch that, but I got my little lady here. She watching Encanto again. You know what I mean? So she's
Yeah.
watching that. So I might check the game out a little bit later. But just to say it quickly, I'm just gonna go with the Bengals winning against the Titans. Not no disrespect to the Titans, and I think they are a good team, and I think they play very strong. And I know Derrick Henry is back. I just think that it's all about runs, and I feel that the Bengals is in a good run right now. Joe Burrow is playing crazy. So I wouldn't be surprised they win the game. It's not going to be like a blowout, but I think they might win like a nice close game and make it to the next round.
I got Tennessee winning this. They're at home. They're the number one seed, and Derrick Henry makes a big difference. Now, if he can be about 70% of what he normally is, they'll just drag this game out with the run. And he's he's arguably the best running back in the game. So having him back is huge. And Tannehill
Mm-hmm.
can throw the ball. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just going to be a shootout. Now, on paper, the Bengals have the most talent. So you would look at it and say, okay, the Bengals, they got great wide receivers. They got that trio of wide receivers in Boyd and Higgins and the rookie Chase with
Mm-hmm.
Burrow. And then Joe Mixon, who've been playing outstanding this year at running back. So they do have a lot of talent. But I'm going to go with the home team, especially if Derrick Henry has a big game. I don't see them beating the Tennessee if Derrick Henry gives them anything like what he normally produces. Well, as I say that, the first play of the game, the Bengals get a pick. Tannehill just threw a pick on the first play of the game, so the Bengals might have a little momentum. As I start talking,
And that's the funny thing because, like I said, I'm like you with the MMA. I'm starting to get back with football. Like I took a hiatus. You all know with the whole Kaepernick thing, and then I was getting
a lot of
into it.
people did.
Yeah, so I was away for a while, not really paying attention, not really keeping up, and now I'm getting back into it slowly. For the past few years, I was trying to get back into it. So learning the players, learning different teams. Since I'm a Giants fan, I've been a Giants fan. It's just that
That's a
really getting
that's a
back into the game.
that's a shame.
But hey, man, we're making some moves, man. We're making some moves. Hopefully, we get a good
Yeah,
coach. We
right.
just hired a GM, so we should be good. But
A good sack.
so for me, I look at it like that. Like I didn't know about the home team things, and I do agree with you with the Tennessee Titans that they have the run game going. They got a good defensive team, and
Yeah,
they
they
play
do.
well and stuff like that. But I just feel
Yeah,
that
they just got a
since
sack on the first play of the game, on the
see,
first play for Cincinnati. So I
yeah,
mean, it's
so I
just the
mean,
first play, but
yeah, I
we'll
mean, you
see,
just don't
man.
know. We just don't know. I mean, people got the jitters. They're shaking it off. I mean, look, Tennessee got the experience. The Bengals haven't been here. You know what I'm saying? Like they're here now. So
Yeah, the Titans was in the AFC Championship game 2 years
yeah,
ago.
exactly. So you know, what I mean, we'll see
Oh
what
man.
happens. Yeah. And
Oh,
then you
they
also got
outside.
your
I'm watching.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
And then you also got your team tonight playing the Green Bay Packers.
Oh yeah, baby.
I got some money on
49ers.
them, but you know, the majority of the bread is on the Green Bay Packers. I just think Aaron Rodgers is playing crazy. Y'all slighted him on draft night, so he ain't forget that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he didn't forget. You
which I
want?
got
Yeah,
a
go ahead.
y'all got a
I
talented
got.
team. Your team is
Yeah.
defensively is solid. Y'all
Okay.
got some good runners and some receivers and
hmm
stuff like that. I know I'm not gonna try to follow the dictation, but Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think he's a good enough quarterback to keep it, tight.
Game manager. hmm
And you know what I'm saying? So
But
unless yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I didn't want to cut you off, but you bring up the revenge on drafting him, and I mean passing him up for Alex Smith and draft night. They've ran that story every time we played him in the playoffs and we still beat him. So it really doesn't matter. We beat him 3 times.
Well,
No,
hey, it's a different time now.
I remember in Lambeau Field, Colin Kaepernick walking around with shirt with no, he had on just gloves. He had no long sleeve shirt on. It was like 10 degrees and he beat them there. 2 years ago, we beat him in San Fran to go to the Super Bowl. When we lost to the Chiefs, it was the Packers we beat. They ran the story about how we didn't draft him and he wanted to play. He's a 49er fan. So you guys could run that whole 49er fan thing and revenge. And there was another time we beat him in the playoffs too. I just can't remember when it was. But we do have Aaron Rodgers' number. Now, be it they did beat us this year in San
Yeah.
Francisco in week 3. It was by 2 points. They made a comeback and we kind of screwed up at the end. We did lose Fred Warner and Nick Bosa to injuries the other day, but they're both cleared to play tomorrow, so that's huge. And as great as Aaron Rodgers is, there's always a situation in the playoffs where he screws up. And you can't always guarantee. Yeah, we know he's Aaron Rodgers, but it doesn't, or he's not made of gold. It's not like Tom Brady, where you're like, okay, this is Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers do choke in the playoffs. I hope he chokes tonight. I hope he's another choke artist again tonight, and hopefully my boys get the win. I'm going with my guys to win. They're playing in Lambeau. It doesn't really matter where we play them. Once that defense is rolling and Jimmy G doesn't make mistakes and the running game's going, we got Deebo Samuel at wide receiver. He's doing everything now. They got him at wide receiver, running back. He even threw a pass. He even threw a pass for a touchdown against the Rams in week 18, 17, 18. Yeah, week 18. Then we had the big game against the Cowboys last week. I don't think.
I mean, I almost
I
that
don't
one
think.
too.
I don't. You guys can say what you want. I watched the whole game. The Cowboys had no hope. Even if he didn't do that run play, they weren't gonna. They were playing prevent defense, no sideline. He had no choice but to go in the middle of the field. That clock would have ran out. He didn't have a choice. It was I think personally he should have threw the ball because you never know what could happen. He shouldn't have ran, but anything else other than a Hail Mary wasn't going to help them. So he they played the defense. The defense played well enough where he couldn't throw the ball. They claim it was a run play all the way. I don't know how true that is. If it is, then they're completely dumb for doing that. And the Cowboys, they do what the Cowboys usually do. They just choke. They're not the same 90s Cowboys. So it was sweet to see them lose because I hate the Cowboys back in the 90s. I hated them. So yeah, man. I can't wait to watch the game tonight. I'm gonna be nervous as usual when my teams are playing, and I'm going with my Niners.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not a bad pick. I'm just gonna go with Green Bay.
Great pick.
Simply because of Aaron Rodgers, and I would like to see him win another Super Bowl. No disrespect to the 49ers. I think the 49ers
no, it's all good. That's your opinion, man.
Even though, they capping it dirty still. But at the end of the day,
I've been through I've told you the story already with the situation with Kaepernick. He opted out of his contract in San Fran. And it's just that he got blackballed by the rest of the league. But he did have another year left on that contract, and he opted out. It
Yeah,
wasn't
because
like the
they was,
49ers released him.
but then they wasn't going to play him. Let's be honest. After all the stuff he was doing, they wasn't going to
But
play him. And then
you
they try to
might
say
be.
his skills is right. His
I think
whack.
you're about 90% right about that. But he would have still got a paycheck.
That is true. But if you're an athlete and a competitor and you want to play and your team is not backing you, and they was doing similarly like what they were doing to Russ, like everything that went wrong, they were blaming him. You know what I'm saying? And making it like, oh, I mean, don't get me wrong, the quarterback is the most significant player
Yeah.
on the team.
Go ahead, finish.
But at the same time, I just feel like they were just kind of like making it an easier out for them because of the fact of what he's doing. Go ahead.
Now, also what I wanted to, I wanted to make my rebuttal on what you were saying because I wanted to wait till you said what you said. Now you were saying he wanted to play this and that. Now, me being a fan, I have more eyes on the Niners at that time. He was playing terrible. He wasn't good. He lost a step. Teams figure out his style of play, and he wasn't a good quarterback anymore, to be honest with you. And that's part of the reason why he wasn't playing that much when in that last year. He actually was playing very bad. I don't know if you could take one day and look at those numbers. He was very bad. I still supported him because of what he stood for and what they were trying to do to him. But as far as his play on the field, he wasn't playing well. So that's part of the reason why they were kind of benching him. And it just made the criticism even bigger and louder when he was playing bad. So that added to the fuel to the fire. But he did not help his case by playing bad. And now, had he been playing like a Pro Bowler, an All Pro, they would have still been crying about what he was doing, but he would have been winning, and he wasn't doing that, and he was looking very bad doing it, and that pretty much led to his demise on the Niners. To be honest with you,
I mean, look, I do. I remember people mentioning that, so I'm not going to say that that's not accurate. My thing is just that, to be honest with you, I just feel that a lot of times when things like that start to happen, people start to change the narrative because it could have been the fact that he didn't have the help. He got hurt a lot of those in that season. I think he was hurt prior. So, you coming off an injury, trying to play through it. You don't have the proper, pieces to protect you, like all these different things. Just like how when people say this about Tom Brady, they give him like this crazy accolade. Now, granted, the man is like the most like the MJ of what I'm saying, the NFL right now because of the rings and all that. But at the same time, it's like he had a better, how can I put it? Like it's more to protect him per se. Like you sneeze on Tom Brady, you're gonna get a flag. You know what I mean? Whereas some of these other quarterbacks, as we've seen quarterbacks of color who get like career-ending hits, and they still don't get nothing. So it's like I just feel that. I just feel it was just a bad timing and everything like that. But it should be interesting to see what happens tonight with your guys. I'm gonna definitely watch that game. I'm gonna try to watch some of this Bengals game tonight, but definitely gonna watch that game and see how it is while I'm preparing for the MMA stuff like that. Yeah, I mean it should be good. I think all these games should be fire. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm getting used to this whole like FanDuel stuff now. Like I don't be betting no crazy money. I just be betting like little small, like $5, $10 here. But sometimes on $5 and $10, they bringing me back some good, returns when I win or if I win. So just to get my feet wet and understanding it. So we should see. Definitely see. Just another topic real quick. Like I said, I know we're not gonna hold up too much time because there's the two of us here, but whole thing with basketball, the trades going on, the different things that people talking about, teams, that whole Russell Westbrook thing, the Lakers, everything is happening right now. It's getting crazy. So I just wanted to get your take on what you feel about what's going on right now. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm pretty upset right now because my guys are going down. Alex Caruso, they just announced 6 to 8 weeks
off, man.
with this guy Grayson Allen, who I'm a Tar Heel fan, so I'm familiar with him at Duke. And I know how dirty he is. So now I get to see it in the NBA. And of course, he does it to a player on my team in the NBA. So, he's down. Lonzo's down. Zach, they're saying Zach's going to come back maybe the next game or two. He actually improved. So we'll get him back. We did play Milwaukee pretty tough, close without those guys. So I like how we stood up to them with a lot of guys on the roster out. And another guy also, our second-year player, Patrick Williams, he's been out all year. He's possibly could come back before the playoffs. He's a good defensive player. So, I mean, we got a lot of guys out right now, and we just got to tread water right now. We just got to, stay in that top 4. Right now, Miami's hot, and Milwaukee, and of course, Brooklyn's there with Philly. Embiid is playing like an MVP. He got to be the front runner right now. He's
that's what
killing
right
now.
I haven't seen. I've seen like the highlights. I've seen like the stuff he was doing. I haven't seen a game recently, but
he's putting Philly on his back right now, and he ain't missing no games. He's looking like an MVP. And, a couple years ago, he was the front runner for MVP too, and he got hurt. So we'll see. But
I mean, I don't blame him. You got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because your boy's crazy right now. Ben Simmons garbage.
The East is pretty competitive. I like what I'm seeing there. I'm just happy to see my guys competing in the East. So hopefully we could tread the water with these injuries. I think the Lonzo one is a bad one, but I think that's one we could live with a little bit. I think we could live with that one because Io is playing pretty well. They could put DeRozan as he could be the ball handler at the top, because he's a good playmaker. So Caruso, our bench is not that great, right? Well, the bench is pretty good, but we're losing guys on the bench, and we lost Derek Jones, and Caruso's gone. So it's pretty tough, but injuries are a part of the game. Everybody has them. You see Brooklyn, they lost Durant for a month, but lucky y'all. That's basically he's just going to be out to the All-Star break. So good thing for y'all there. You still got Kyrie and Harden. Well, Kyrie at least on the road, and Brooklyn, they'll be fine. They're playing pretty well without him right now. So we'll see how it goes when they go back home, because now it'll be just Harden, without that. So every team has injuries. I can't make excuses and have sympathy for the Bulls. Everybody in the league has injuries. The West, they have their share. The Warriors and Phoenix, they look like they're the top 2 teams in the West, and I don't see anybody beating those 2 teams at all. I like Denver too. Jokic is playing pretty well. Memphis, they're coming, boy. I'm telling you, in like 2 years, they're gonna be talking about title contender for them. The Memphis Grizzlies are a problem. They got a nice little young core there, and I give them 2 more years, and they'll be a title contender. So we'll see, man.
Yeah, man, it's really interesting. Like you said, I just hope this team, lasts. And like you said about Caruso, and this is like on a selfish tip for me. I have him on my fantasy team, and I was just happy to get him back, and then he get hurt. And you hate to see it. You hate to see that, because to be honest with you, it's like, to see somebody get hurt like that, especially in that kind of way, it's just really unfortunate, because to me, it's like, why do that to somebody? Why try to injure them and hurt them because you don't want them to get a basket? You know what I'm saying? There's other ways to foul somebody, because that could have been something else. He could have had a career-ending injury. He could have broken a more significant bone and not be the same player, or hurt his head, get a concussion, break your neck. Like a lot of different things of these plays. Every time, I'll be honest with you, every time I watch these guys run to the basket for a dunk or do that, I always get nervous, because I don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they're going to get hurt or fall or get pulled. And it's like almost like PTSD, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I was like Skywalker doing stuff like that, but you just don't know. People low bridge you, you get hurt, you fall the wrong way. It's just unfortunate, man. And it's like, especially now in the game, the Bulls have something to play for, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to say other teams don't matter, but these guys, this is their career. They're already playing a sport that's already incredibly hard on their body in general. And then to have to deal with the extra stuff, it just makes it worse. So yeah, we should see, man. We should definitely see. I just hoping to see that, things start to pick up for the Nets, like you said. But yeah, man, hopefully they can just pick it together. I don't really mind if the Nets are not in first place or not. As long as we make the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's more games for Kyrie.
Yeah, and not only that, they were saying that they could pay, I think, like a fee, and the fine is like maybe Yeah, well, that's after like the fifth
Third, I think it's the
or
third
third,
game, or it
third or
could be
fourth
that.
game. I think it's the fifth
Yeah.
game. They start to pay like the 5,000. So
Right.
that's like a drop in the, drop of water in the lake for the
Yeah,
team.
it's
So
chump change.
that's nothing. That's something. So that should be good. But anyway, like I said, we're not gonna draw this out too long. There's a lot of other topics we're gonna talk, but we'll probably wait for the other guys. But I just want to thank you guys again for joining us. Thanks, Tyrone, for coming out so we can try to get something up for you guys.
Yeah.
Um, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, like I said, give us some ideas you'd like us to talk about. Um, just feedback in general. We really do appreciate it. We thank you guys again. Enjoy the rest of your day.